today with Caddy. Serve the web like it's 2016 is their sort of slogan. Now, I'm going to ignore all the stuff Phil said earlier, and we're going to pretend none of that exists. That's really a level above this, where you're going to be deploying this later. So we're going to talk about what Caddy is. It's a web server. It's an alternative web server that's easy to configure and use. So it replaces Apache and Nginx in a standard web server or development stack. So we've all used Apache, we've all used Nginx. They are, if you use a standard package off the shelf in Linux and you want one site and you want it in one folder and you don't want to do anything fancy, it's pretty easy to set up. The minute you want to do something a bit different, you want to set up multiple hosts, you want to put things in different folders and map things around, the configuration of those is a total nightmare. It's for me anyway. So, bear with me. Hello? It's not working so well. Oh, it's recording. Sorry. All these technology problems. So, why do we use Caddy? As I said, it's easier to configure than Nginx and Apache. It's been proven to be faster than Apache. Certainly it's serving static resources. It's about the same speed as Nginx. So it's about as fast as it can be. It has no dependencies. It's a pre-compiled single binary. So whenever you install Apache or Nginx, you generally install a Linux package, or you download an installer, and it installs loads of files all over the place, libraries, folders, configuration folders, everything's everywhere. You don't know where anything is. You have to start hunting around your etc. folder. Big complicated package like that, and you have no idea how it's running. It's just there and it's running and all the rest of it. This is a single executable. You download the one for your platform. Single binary, you just run it. Dead easy. You can pass it some parameters, we'll get to that later, but it's really, really easy. In that respect, it's actually pretty easy to deploy on the server then. It's easy to deploy in a Docker container, because you're just downloading a file and putting it in there. It supports multiple cores, so you put like an 8-core, 12-core server. It can ramp up, it can a single executable, and it can just spread itself over all those cores and use all the processing power you can give it, or you can configure it and drop it down to only use a couple restricted. It's very, very easy. And it supports HTTP 2. Don't know, has anyone heard of HTTP 2? Is aware of it? Since about, I don't know, 1997 or something, we've been using HTTP 1 or 1.1 for everything, and it's never really improved. And there have been other protocols that come along in the meantime. There's one called SPDY, which was the most successful one, and all the browsers started to support it, but it never really took off. And HTTP 2 is really the official version of that. So it is supported by all the major browsers. I don't really know what you have to do from a programming standpoint to use it. I think it's automated by the server. But it's a new version of HTTP that effectively makes your site load faster. And it does this by allowing the server to push necessary content. So when it says push, what happens is if you request a web page, it requests the HTML. The server can be clever and say, well, if you want this HTML, you probably want this CSS, and you probably want this JavaScript, so I'm going to send those as well. And it all comes down, it multiplexes that response, and it all comes down into one pull. So the client uses HTTP to request a page, and actually gets back HTML, JavaScript, CSS, maybe some imagery, all in one hit, instead of having to go back and forth and waiting to parse and see what it needs. It compresses headers, so things like cookies and anything else you have in your headers, authorization stuff is all compressed just for a wee bit of extra speed. And it says there it's supported by major browsers since the end of 2015, so that's like any browser that's been updated since the end of 2015 basically. HTTP is also supported by Apache and Nginx, but Caddy is not restricted by dependencies on your server. So Apache and Nginx will support HTTP 2, but only if you've got a really modern server. You need Ubuntu 16 to support HTTP 2 with Apache. Caddy is not restricted by that. In fact, I downloaded Caddy binary Linux AMD64 binary of Caddy, and I put it in our Ubuntu 10 server, try it out, worked absolutely fine, all the features worked. So you have no restrictions, you don't have to worry about the Linux kernel you're using. It's all bubbled up. It's developed in Go. I don't know if I have a slide with this. It's developed in the Go language, which I don't know a massive amount about, but any time I've had experience of Go products, they tend to be bubbled up into a single binary, and absolutely everything it needs is there in a single product. it automatically enables HTTPS. So if you run Caddy on a site and you give it a host name, an actual host name that resolves to an actual IP, it'll automatically go and get a certificate from Let's Encrypt. Have you ever heard of Let's Encrypt? It's a service, free SSL provider. So it'll automatically go and get a certificate, set it up for you, just runs, it's totally seamless. We automatically renews it. It checks a couple of times a day, I think, to see, does this need renewed? Once it gets close to the renewal date, it'll request a renewal. It all happens in the background. You don't even have to worry about that. It's amazing. Genuinely genius. So the days of buying SSL certs and doing a complicated Apache or Nginx installing those, they're just gone if you use Caddy. Really simple config file called the Caddy file. So I'll just run through an example here. This is a Caddy file. It's your config. So that means if you have a Caddy file in a folder, you just run Caddy in that folder, and you have this in your Caddy file. That means it will serve that folder on port 2020. Here's a slightly more complicated one, where you're saying we want to gzip stuff, so we want to compress our assets, and we want to put the log in that folder, still run on 2020, that's fine. And there's one with multiple sites. Specify the root of the site, and some other options. Dead easy. That's all. Literally, you create that Caddy file, you run Caddy from that folder where you run Caddy and you tell it where the Caddy file is, and that's up and running. It's that easy. No complicated packages to install, no editing, 1,000 files. So it supports fast CGI for PHP. So your PHP FPM server will be served up through this fast CGI extension. So here's a simple Caddy file for Laravel. Your root folder is public, just one error log, that's optional. And your fast CGI, we're just going to go and get PHP FPM. And you're telling it here to rewrite anything it can't find. So your index.php, that's all you need to run Laravel or Symfony or any framework pretty much these days. So to set up this fast CGI, see this line here, and this is a representation of the fast CGI configuration. This is just a screenshot off their Caddy server website. You're lucky enough there's a preset for PHP, so you don't have to worry about specifying the file extension, the default index file, or exceptions. You can just PHP in. And actually, if you have custom environment variables you want to pass into the server, you can just do env key value, env key value, env key value, and those will all be in your $server in PHP. So really, really easy to set up a server. I actually have a wee demo server I set up myself on DigitalOcean. It runs Caddy with a couple of wee sites on it, and the automatic HTTPS and everything is so easy. That's all I'm going to say. Easy, easy, easy. There's lots of useful add-ons. I've just listed a few. There's some built-in ones which come in the totally default bare bones, if you like, version of Caddy, and that's Browse, which is like a file browser. So you browse around files and folders on the server, and that's template-based. It actually has this whole template system, so it's very powerful. So you can actually create a dynamic website without PHP to a certain degree. You can have headers and footers. You can loop through information, all that sort of stuff. Markdown built in, serves Markdown files. I'll maybe show you that later. And again, you can optionally templatize that up, so just convert your Markdown to HTML. All super easy to configure. Some third-party example, Git will auto-clone a repository. I'll show you a demo of that later. IP filter is an IP filter. Hugo is quite a big, well-known static website generator. I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but it gives you an interface to create files, web files, and link them all together. You run a whole website with Hugo, and it has minify for auto-minifying CSS and JavaScript. Just pick some random ones. There are loads of them. And how you get the third-party plugins in is you go to caddyserver.com, and when you go down to download, you just tick the ones you want. And you hit download, and then your binary has them all in it. Dead easy. So usage, as I said earlier, yes, the dollar is a useful prompt, as you mentioned in yours. Caddy minus conf, pass in the Caddy file. Don't have to do that. You don't actually even need a Caddy file if you don't want. You can just say Caddy minus port 8080. It'll just serve whatever's in the current folder on port 8080. Or you can specify some config at the command line. So we're just enabling these plugins, browse, markdown, we're setting an access log. Dead easy to run, so if you wanted to have a wee cron job that started that up every day or after every time the server restarts, you can just stick that in. It's kind of used for development, bringing for local development. Include a Caddy file in your repo, so the next programmer who goes to get your repo has the config. If there's anything custom in there and fancy, they have the Caddy file. It's not going to obviously set up their whole environment for them, it's not going to set up PHP and their database and all that stuff, but certainly give them a clue. It's a single executable, you can just run it. It's available for almost every platform you can think of. We'll have a website. You can run it as many times as you like on different ports. So you can run Caddy in one folder, open up another project, run Caddy again, run Caddy again. Just keep running it, just saying individual processes. For PHP, you'll obviously want to have a PHPFBM server running, or you can put the whole thing in a Docker and have Caddy in there in a container and PHP in a container. Same way, just to replace your Apache or Nginx one. PHPFBM server, dead easy to install or set up on Mac or Linux, on Windows. We bit trickier. We thought we had it sussed on Dave's machine the other day, and it was working fine for ages, and then suddenly we had a wee snag with it, but that was a very specific example. But it's pretty easy to set up a PHP server. So PHP will be running in the background on that port, as we saw earlier in the config file. Tell Caddy to just connect to that port to go and get its, to run its PHP. So I'm going to give you a quick, that was very quick. I'm going to give you a super quick rundown of a couple of examples that I have. So I have anyone who has been here, been coming for a while, or remembers this. We created a framework a long time ago, and it's useful just to use it for demo because it's not Laravel, it's not Symfony, it's just a generic system of packages that we put together. And we built this PHPBelfast framework. And I've updated it a wee bit, just because it hasn't been updated for about a year. But it's much the same thing. And what I've done is I have Caddy running locally, and I've created a little Laravel Elixir. Does anyone remember my Laravel Elixir talk?
I remember it.
Yeah, do you remember? From, I think, two PHPBelfast ago. So this is just an example of how cool Caddy is as a development tool. So I've got my Caddy file there. I can run Gulp Watch, and it'll instantly run Caddy for me, and do a browser sync, which we saw browser sync if you were at my Laravel Elixir one. If you didn't see it, browser sync basically monitors the URL, checks for changes in your code, and if your code changes, it refreshes the PHP appropriately. So injects new CSS and that sort of stuff. So this was our PHPBelfast project. I just ran Gulp Watch, and it's ran Caddy, just by running Caddy with the Caddy file in the folder, and it's browser synced to that URL. If we go back to PHP Storm, you actually see, you can kind of see what happened here. Apologies for the tiny screen, but so you can see here after it's run the default Gulp stuff, this line here is it actually running Caddy on port 50,000. So I've told it that's the port I want to run on. And then this line is ES's browser sync, which is saying I'm going to proxy that and I'm going to check for changes. And that's the URL where it's running. And browser sync automatically, once it works that URL out, it just pops up in your browser for you. So just like that, you put a Caddy file in there, you have PHP configured on your computer, your way. And there's the Caddy file in that. So just said, you've got root public, your fast CGI, your PHPFBM is on port 9000, and that's your rewrite. And I've actually enabled the markdown add-on in there, just that's how difficult it is to enable that. Just a single word. So that's the Caddy file for the project. I have a readme markdown file in the public folder, so just to show you, I didn't do any other configuration on this. but you go to the README file. It's rendered as HTML, it's not rendered as Markdown, and that's just putting one line in your Caddy file. You can actually edit, you can create templates and CSS for styling up here, for default styling, and default headers and footers and whatnot for your Markdown. Really clever stuff. Okay, let's see, what else have we got here? Yeah, so you can see there that is running using Laravel Elixir. So if I wanted to change, say I wanted to change the word welcome there, I just pop into the home view, just change, just stick a couple of exclamation in, hit save, and yeah, just change the value. I didn't have to reload, didn't have to do browser sync takes care of that. So we've got a server running on the system, just like that, no vagrant. I'm not running PHP interactively, I'm not running anything else, just simple Caddy. Now this isn't the same as running Docker. Obviously you're not going to mimic your hosting environment exactly if you're using Apache and Nginx and whatnot. But these days I don't feel there's this big difference as there used to be. It used to be quite a substantial difference between PHP run locally and PHP run on your server. That difference is, a lot of those differences are eradicated now. It's not really that big a deal. So let's change that back. So Laravel Elixir again, saving the day, and Caddy just coming in to service our page for us. And Caddy isn't run all the time, it's only there just when you need it, when you want to run it up for a project. If I was to open another project here, which I currently have ready, this is just a flat file project, so I actually don't even have a Caddy file. You see in here, there's no Caddy file. I have, however, added Caddy sync in, which is my little plugin for Laravel Elixir. It's only a few lines of text. Go get it, go download it, it's great.
Star it and GitHub. Star it and GitHub.
Yeah, go star it for me, and then I'll get lots of kudos points. So if we do the same thing in here, called watch, and that's just a flat site with just HTML in it. No Caddy file at all, but it's just running Caddy in that folder and saying, and by default, it's obviously going to look for HTML files because it's a web server, and it just works. And again, no configuration, no messing about. And I've got Elixir running, so if I was to change my, the background color, a lovely shade of that, then in theory, bang. Just take a wee second there, and you see here this time it's running on a different port. 5001, and that's because I have a wee, in my Laravel Elixir plugin, I used a wee port finder program. It's just check, and it starts at port 50,000, and starts cranking up and checks, is that port available, is that port available, is that port available? Just gives you the next available one. So as does browser sync, hence browser sync just always checks, starts at 3,000, works its way up. So that does the same thing, so you can just keep running Gulp Watch on multiple projects. I mean, if you're anything like me or you work in an agency environment, sometimes I have 4 or 5 projects open at once and you're jumping between them because you're working on them all throughout the day, and I just keep them all open and flick between them, make this change. So you constantly, you're bringing these things up and down. You don't have to worry about waiting for a vagrant machine to boot up or remembering to suspend it, which was always my problem. You forget to suspend all your machines and then you wonder why your machine's going slow 2 days later, and it's because you've got 8 vagrant boxes all running. This way, it's great. Because you're running Gulp Watch, you're running through PHP Storm in this instance. So I'm picking up PHP Storm here, but whenever you close that project, you just close that now. It tells you you're on the process, watch. If you want to disconnect, you disconnect it. It's your server gone. So you don't have to worry about cleaning that up. Don't remove that. So really, really handy way to develop. There's also another plugin I mentioned earlier, which was a Git plugin. And some people are using Forge. Ryan's using Forge. Anyone else using Forge? No?
You're all wrong.
You're all wrong. Forge is actually great. And Forge was the first service I'd seen to do this. I know there are other ones, but it basically puts a hook in your Git repo. So whenever you push something to Git, it automatically pulls it on your server to keep your server up to date. So Caddy has this system running. I actually have PHPBelfast site there running on a URL called, but if we go to git test.web.4indeed.eu, you see I've got an SSL there. You just create a site with a URL and it gets you a Let's Encrypt Authority SSL at the end. It just works. So this is my server running on DigitalOcean. I set up myself, and it's literally just running Caddy, run PHP FPM and Caddy with a few. I've got a couple of wee virtual hosts on there. Just configured the way I mentioned earlier, where you just list them in your Caddy file. There's like 10 lines, double configuration. And this one has Git on it. So if I go back to that localhost 3000 per second version, and I go to PHP store and let's say I change the word welcome again there to welcome to Git. And then still be the moment of truth. If I commit this, change homepage, and I push.
You just committed there.
Oh,
Yeah, you didn't push.
It's weird being in the screen mode. Okay, push. And I go back to my web browser, and I go to here, and hopefully, it might take a wee second to push, actually, no, it gets finished. Welcome to it. So that deployed that change, just like that, through a little Git hook. So I'll show you how you set that up. Dead easy. And this is the Caddy file, effectively, for this virtual host on my wee server. So, because I've got multiple vHosts running, I've just decided to, I don't have one Caddy file, I actually have it split up. You can just include others. So I've got a folder, a Caddy file for each site, and I just say include that folder, and it just reads them all, rather than putting them all in one file. So I've said the root is there. I'm running this as a Unix socket for the PHP FPM. Told them where to put the error log, and that's optional. Standard rewrite. And here's the clever bit down there with the Git. So I'm using the Git plugin. I said, here's the name of the repo. That's the path where you want to pull the repo to. So you want to clone it into, you don't want to clone it into the root folder, because the root folder is a public folder. So you want to clone it to up one folder, to tell the branch you want. So if you just want to have like a release branch, which is only for releases, you just say use that. You give it a hook name, which is just a URL that you configure in GitHub, and you say whenever there's a push to this branch, hit this hook, and you can give that a password. And then you can do them and a number of commands to them. So you might want to have a composer install or artisan migrate or any of those other good things in there. It's just a real simple example to show you how easy it is to set that sort of system up. That's it. There's no no big complicated setup behind it. Caddy just does all the hard work for you. That makes sense to everybody? That file? No? Okay. And that's pretty much it. That's all I've got. So, further reading, if you want to explore, be caddyserver.com and Caddy server examples where there's some funky setups for different frameworks or requirements. Actually, if we go to caddyserver.com, it's probably the best place to see. I think that'll open already. Somewhere. I'd like to get that back in there, but I don't know how. New guide. So you can see all these directories on the left. These are all the things that are supported. Different little bits of functionality, and the ones with the A, beside the little mini A, are add-ons. There's loads of stuff, and there's loads of stuff getting added to it all the time. Currently the add-ons, as I said, are embedded into the single binary. that's one of the sort of ethoses of Caddy, is they want that single binary executable. Some people are sort of saying, well, that makes it quite difficult to add add-ons later because you have to go and download the binary again, but that's literally all you have to do. Download the binary again, use it. So to get the binary with different plugins, you go to download and wait for my not EE 4G, and you pick your middleware there, you pick your add-ons, just click them, and then hit download for your specific platform. There's all your different platforms. I can't scroll over, unfortunately. There we go. So, plenty of options there. Runs on Android. So, actually, it's been updated. Interesting. Yeah, that's it. That's all I've got for you on Caddy. I think it's great. I'd love it to be more popular because it's so easy to configure, so easy to get up and running with, so easy to play with. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, I've got a question. You said Caddy binary sits alongside your code, is that right? And
It can sit wherever you like on the server. Yeah, as long as you know where it is, you can run it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it can sit wherever. I have it in the path. I have it in user local bin on my server, so it's always or on my local system. So wherever I have it, I just run it in that folder.
Fair enough. And so I take the binary then is operating system specific. So we plan on for Linux, you don't want for
Yeah, you download the one for your operating system, and from that list at the bottom there, you click the one you want. Anything else? Yeah.
Is there anything that you've noticed that you had wanted to do with Caddy that you've been able to do with Nginx or Apache?
No, I mean the only reason we still use Nginx or Apache is it's the access files and legacy projects. Otherwise, I would not be anywhere near it. It's so complicated. Same with Nginx, to be honest, it's pretty complicated to set up too. I'm not sure. There's not very many. I don't know very many people using this in production. They claim loads of people are, and they give you some websites that are using it. But from what I've heard, it's very reliable. The fact that it's still version 0.9 is a wee bit disconcerting. I've had no problems with it. In terms of features that the other ones will have that this one doesn't. Oh, what's on page? It's a nice wee menu, isn't it? You know, this does proxying, it does WebSockets, it does all sorts of fancy stuff that I would never even know where to use it. It even has a basic search. If you put HTML, you can search your files. It is far more functionality off the shelf than Apache or Nginx. Now, there might be some real low-level stuff that Apache or Nginx does, or some specific modules that they have that this doesn't. But those are probably specific reasons why you would use those anyway. This is written in Go, and it's open source. It's all on GitHub. So if you know anything about Go, you can easily go and have a good look around it and see what you think. And you can also embed it in your programs, which I've heard quite a few people do. And there's one big project that's like a DNS server, and they actually use Go, use Caddy as their DNS server. That's the core of their server functionality. So it's great stuff. Go and read up on it. Free. The best things about it is the free, for me anyway, is the free SSL and the simple, really so simple to config. Those are no-brainers, for as I'm concerned. Why you should at least give it a go. Give it a go, maybe set up a server and do some tests on it. Hammer a bit with a load tester, because I haven't done that. From what I understand, it's as fast as Nginx on static assets, which is all you really need. So, anything else? Yeah?
Well, not. It's just I noticed there was a UI port came up alongside the server.
Browser sync. It's browser sync. The UI.
Oh yeah, browser sync has I don't know if I showed that the last time, did I? It's still on, is it? Browser sync has a wee user interface, and you can see what it's processing, and you can see like debugging and all this sort of stuff in it. It's part of browser sync. It's pretty cool. You can throttle the network to see what the thing looks like at 50 kilobits a second.
GPRS.
All that stuff. And that's all built in. Let's say you just run that Laravel Elixir and use browser sync, and it's you've got that just as an extra wee debugger on your site.
So one of those off the bottom that says translate Wi-Fi.
Yeah, great. So check it out. Thank you very much.
Good stuff.